It's Magtar Starhart of Magnetic Service, and yes, I still am and will forever and always be in love with humanity. It means we love everybody, we do not like everybody, and we know for sure not everybody likes us. So I feel like I got to come on here today and just talk about my politics for a minute. Which I want my politics to be real simple. Clean air, fresh water, nutritious food, warmth and shelter, and basic medical for everybody, no matter who you are. The basics to living. There's the basics that everything, every being, every creature, everybody needs. Okay. On my old channel, I have talked about my politics plenty. On this channel, I've got some where I talk about my politics. I, for one, have never aligned with any political base. The most I've considered myself is libertarian leaning, which means, in essence, I don't care if you want to go shoot your guns on the way to your gay cousin's wedding or whatever. It's just live and let live. Just simple. But I do not align with really any political party because I think there's bullshit in all of them. There's just I don't agree with extremism. I think extremism on any spectrum is some of the worst things for humanity and for people. And so I just can't align with most of the politics that a majority of people align with. I'm my own person. I'm not one that just goes with the crowd. I have gone with the crowd and I know how, and there's certain things that I can go with the crowd with, and then there's things I'm like, I just can't. So, I have never participated in voting. The only person I ever wanted to vote for, and I went and saw him speak in my hometown, was Ron Paul. And then at work later that night, I didn't realize that was like the primaries. So that would have been the only time I would have went to vote, and I just didn't even realize. It's like, oh, no wonder he's in town talking. So, anyways, Ron Paul is the only person I liked, like pretty much for any politics ever. Like any politician I ever saw speak, he was the only person where I was like, I really like this guy. And I watched him in person speak, and I was like, I feel like he's very genuine and he's honest. Is he perfect? No. But I will take an imperfect person who makes mistakes and I feel would own up to them and be accountable than anybody else. I believe in taking accountability. I believe in telling the truth, being genuine. Even if that means making mistakes and say, well, I did this wrong. So many people they're so egoic, they cannot ever even consider the fact of taking accountability for mistakes, let alone admit to them or anything like that, and they'll just double down. And that's a lot of humanity. Not all, but that's a lot. And I think it shows just tremendous weakness and insecurity. There's a lot of dudes out there that pretend to be super alpha buff, and the littlest slight, and they get so offended, like little girls. And I shouldn't say little girls as an offense or an affront, but it's like you're this large man and you are acting like a baby right now, and just like it's like, quit, like, be secure, quit being so insecure. So I look at today's culture and I think it is just a mess all across the board. You got to remember, I've made many mistakes. I still do. I have dipped my toes in all kinds of energy. So some of these things when I talk about, they're not judgments, they're observations. I believe in observing things and then making judgments to move accordingly. With the men in today's society, at least the younger men, I could go off on boomers. I've got some issues there. I hate lawns, so I love Arizona. I think your lawn where you just put a bunch of weed killer down and you kill all the native species like insects and stuff, and you're like, my clean lawn that does nothing. I think it's stupid. Grow some fruits and vegetables in there. Your lawn is retarded. Sorry, not sorry. It's dumb. You remember I was born in 83. We use these words, and it was Like, not offensive. Sorry, I also went to a school where there was a kid that was handicapped mentally, and I watched kids bully him, and I was very nice to that kid. So I don't, and I'm sure some of those people who do it now very much would be like, you can't say that word. I'm like, I've watched how you act as a child, so I'm not going to take any criticism like that, because I see what people say and I see how they act, and that's how I look at it. I don't care what you say, what nice words you pretend to say, and then I watch how you act in real life, and I realize you're full of shit. It's a heated one today. But I think there's a lot of issues with a lot of the men in our generation, my age and younger, where all they do, this is their contribution to society, not all of them, a lot, they jerk off and play video games. Not productive. You're not helping anybody. I get if you want to have like your hobbies, and I'm totally fine with that. I grew up playing video games. I get it. But I at a certain point, I was like, I'd start playing a video game. I'm like, I got to be doing other stuff. I can't just be, I'm not comfortable. I want to build things. I want to create. I want to help people. I want to help this planet. And I have a lot of ways to do that I'm a creator, but I'm not good at getting the final product out. And that's bad on me. But I have a lot of work I've done in a lot of ways. And I feel like I actually have a lot of decent solutions and things that could be really helpful. They just haven't gotten out in the world. I don't have the right team, or I don't have the right skill set, and that's on me. But I like to create, and I have my own way of doing that, and I'm still working on things. I've still got AI stuff going on. I'm going to go speak at a conference in Alaska, the ACE conference, Alaska Society for Technology in Education, and I got chosen to speak there for my submission. And I'm going to present some stuff with AI, part of which will be some of my UMG stuff. It's not going to be about UMG, but I'm going to use my MOLT system, which is an order of operations with using AI that actually organizes it in a good structure. Ways that I've seen Microsoft put something similar. Microsoft didn't have shit on what I got. And I'm just one dude. But I'm going to go speak up there. So I'm trying to get my work out there to be able to help people in the classrooms. ACE, I actually did the logo for them last year. They have a different logo every year. So anyways, I'm excited for that. That is coming up. So when I say sometimes like, keep waiting, there's things, I'm still working on things, but it's like, it's taken me like a snail's pace. Now to get back into some of the politics, here's an issue I have. You remember I grew up in Idaho, so it was definitely more of a red conservative state. Do I have issues with conservative politics? Yes. Do I have issues with liberal politics? Absolutely yes. I have a preference. Okay, so for one, Idaho, there's virtually no gun laws. And if you look at the gun murders and statistics there, per capita, because it's a smaller state, but per capita, we have some of the lowest gun murders in the country, and like hardly any gun laws. So I think that says something. So it's hard when someone's like, gun this. And I'm like, well, where I'm from, we're not just killing each other all over in the streets, and there's no laws on guns. And I look at other states where there's all these laws and restrictions on guns, and they're just killing each other like crazy. So I just think it's a FUBAR argument, and I'll never believe it. Plus, you gotta look, a lot of, when they talk about like, or they'll say gun deaths, not murders, they'll say gun deaths. A lot of those are with a pistol, and it's people, and it's men that have like PTSD, you have military vets, and you have people that are suicidal, and they're killing themselves. So that's a mental health problem. It's not even a gun issue so much. So, and that's why I like Arizona. It's the same way. That's what coming down here, there's like no gun laws. It's the same as Idaho, and I like that because I think that an armed society is a polite one. And I think people should be raised up to be respectful around guns, not just raise up your kid to put a tablet in their hand and say, there you go, and then, put the gun up, and the kids would get into all sorts of crap. But, so I have an issue with the conservative politics. Is they're like, people are like, why do you want guns? Like, so we can hunt. We like to shoot, and we want to be able to stand up against tyranny. While they go around and they lick boots like MFers. And like, well, there's your tyranny. There's the people that are oppressing you. And I don't advocate for any violence. I think we could solve so many problems without violence. But it's okay to let people know, like, I am armed. I will protect myself. But there's a contradiction in there. And then you have the liberal side where they're like, we don't want guns, we want all this gun control, we hate cops. Well, who's going to have all the guns if you go by these policies? It's going to be the police. So there's a mental deficiency in your logic. It doesn't make any sense if you stop and think about it with your head, not with your heart, not with your feelings. Well, I feel, that's great. People feel stupid shit all the time, me included. So I can't. Now, when it comes to the very much, I do have an issue now also, again, with conservatives, with now when it comes to abortion, here's where I'm at. I have been in situations where the woman was potentially pregnant, and I was like, I did not push her towards abortion or having the baby. I said, whatever you want to do. If you want to have an abortion, I'll support that. And I won't shame you and I won't judge you. And I'll go there with you and hold your hand and be right by your side. You want to have the baby? Let's have the baby. I know how babies are made. I like babies. I like kids. I grew up in a household, like I was the oldest of my siblings and my cousins and all that. So I've been around kids. Kids are great. Without kids, when I have kids, there would be no human population. So they would like. So I take issue when the conservatives want to be like, they want to protest the abortion clinics, but then at the same time they want to take away the food stamps from like all these parents. Now, it's the food stamps and the welfare state just been defrauded, and people are they've incentive to not work and then just get free money, which is not free. It comes from taxpayers, people busting their hump 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. It comes from somewhere. So while I think there needs to be better, there needs to be like some tightening up of the welfare system, I also don't agree with just taking food from the mouths of babes. So to me, it's like, no, leave the food stamps alone. At least for the parents that are feeding their kids. There's some that just be trading it off and doing scandalous shit, and they're getting welfare and their kids are starving anyways. And those people just need to be locked up and put the kids in a better home. Of course, then we could get into the foster system, and that's a big mess too. Because you got to remember, people who desire to abuse children will always put themselves in positions of power to do it. So those people need to be extra regulated. You want to be in a position where you have authority over children, well, you get extra scrutiny, and that just comes with the territory. I'm sorry, not sorry. But if you're a good, upstanding person, and you're not doing anything wrong, then it shouldn't be an issue. It should be just fine. But please don't take the food stamps away from children who need to eat. That's evil. So I have issues with that, with the conservatives, with the rights. Now, when it comes to the left, some of these MFers, they'll be like vegan. They won't even eat an egg because it came from a chicken. And then they'll try to tell you that it's not even a baby. That's just a cell. So is the egg. Eat the egg. You're fine. You're like, I'm not going to eat this egg. It came from it's a cell. You're going to eat it. But you're going to tell me that this baby, this unborn child is going to be a person. It's going to be a baby. It's just a cell right now. That's what it's right now, but it's going to be a baby. Just like that egg you won't eat, it's just a cell, and it's going to be a chicken. But it's not at that point. So the logic, I don't get it. That's fine if you don't have the abortion, but don't pretend like that's not going to be a person. That argument's bullshit. Just say, I was careless, irresponsible. I know how sex worked and how babies are made. I didn't give a shit, and now I'm going to do it. And then, I'm not going to shame people for that. Just own it. Don't pretend like it's something else, because that's lying, and I think it's insidious. So again, I'm at odds with both sides. Now, when it comes to things like the LGBTQ EFGHYZX movement, I think there's some insidious stuff there, just like what goes on in religions and fundamentalism. Okay, fundamentalist religion, there's a lot of abuses that go on there. So there's some FUBAR. There's a repression of sex and sexuality, and then people take it out in some weird ways, and it's not okay. I also think, though, with the LGBTQ movement, with like I don't care if you're gay. And I'm going to say the cliche thing, I don't care. And I've had plenty of friends that are gay. I've never shamed them. I never looked at them different. I'm not afraid to hug these people. I'm not afraid to be around them. It's fine, you're gay. I'm not at all. And trust me, I've had many men try. I'm not even a little bit gay, not a little bit bi, none. Now, I can look and be like, that's a handsome man. That's a handsome man. I like this guy's energy. And trust me, and I'm going to get there with the dating scene as a man, I wish being gay was a choice, because at this point, I'd probably choose to be gay. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to go find me a nice man. Sounds way easier, less stressful. But it's not, and I'm not. So, but I like some of the politics that go with some of the stuff I think are FUBAR, because, and for one, there's you got the Me Too movement, and you've got, again, with or at least you had, or whatever, with some of these, there's a lot of women that have called out, like, we don't like the catcalling, which is fine and it's respectable, but things have gotten so extreme on so many levels. It's like, men are kind of more keeping themselves, because they also know that, like, all these women have like a roster of men. I don't want to be on a roster. It's me or no one, second to none. I don't want to be third down on your list. It's disrespectful. I don't have a roster of women. I'm not doing it. That's not me. So, but when it comes to some of these gay men, I've had gay men hit on me tremendously. And right off the bat, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm straight. I'm very straight. I get that you give the best blowjobs in the world, like every other gay man says. So cliche. They all say the same thing. Get a new line, but whatever. I don't hate you for it. I'm not upset. I'm not grossed out. I'm just like, nope. And then they'll be very persistent. They'll try to like convince me to let them suck my dick. And I'm like, no. Finally, after a while, I might start playing with it. I'm like, oh, really? You want to? Because then I'm like, well, this is what it feels like to be a woman. This kind of power. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just get in this energy for a minute. But no. Now, some of these gay men, the aggressiveness with which they've approached me is off the charts. So if I approached a woman like that, I would get crucified. And especially crucified by people, these gay men and some of these women who would crucify me, being in the same political spectrum, which is liberal. They would crucify me. And I've seen some of these men or trans people aggressively approach me, and then I've watched the women, they go back into the bar, and the women are like, oh. I'm like, this guy is a sexual predator. But you don't see that one because you're a woman, and he's not preying on you like he's trying to on me. So whatever. But that's part of the issues with the trans movement. I don't care if you're trans. I don't care if you want to dress up, and I don't care if you're just a cross-dresser and you want to just dress up at night in a cute little dress and go out on the town. I don't care. Not into it. Not into those shows or anything like that. I've seen a lot of men that dress up as women, and they wear the most gaudy makeup and the most gaudy outfits, and it's I see a man, and it kind of weirds me out. I don't care if you want to do it, though. I'm not going to judge you. I don't want to take your space. Go do your thing. It's not my thing. I don't have any ill will towards you, but I look and I'm like, it makes me feel weird. I feel uncomfortable. But that's fine. Again, I'm not out for you. Now, when it comes, though, to some of the training things getting attached with LGBTQ, I have issues because a lot of it, you have a lot of men, okay? Men and women will do trans for different reasons. So a trans man and a trans woman are not the same, and they've not transitioned for the same reasons. There's a stark difference. And I've learned that from Kai, actually. So if you watch this, Kai. So it's just like, and I get messed up with the terminology too. So again, it's like trans man, it mixes in my head because I'm just like, I'm like man, woman, but so I get, if I misspeak, I apologize. I don't ever try to. I will not try to mislabel somebody. I might on accident because I say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I've gotten flack for that. Well, I'm a woman, and it's a guy that looks just like a guy. Like a baby-faced young man. I'm getting chewed out because I said sir, and I'm not a sir. And I'm like, there's nothing that tells me otherwise. So anyways, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be polite. I'm getting chewed out. So... But there's a lot of men, biological males, that want to dress up or transition to women and then invade women's spaces. Leave the kids and leave the women alone. Why do women not get these spaces that are theirs? That's what I don't get either. Again, that's why. So when it comes to liberalism, I think there's so many contradictions. I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, well, stand up for women and Me Too and you're a white straight male, so you are the devil and you are the patriarchy. And it's like, and then they want to let all these dudes that are like, some of these men are like, a lot of the things I've noticed with the gay community and the trans is they're hypersexual. And that's fine. That's your prerogative. Again, I'm not judging you for it. But hypersexual. It's like so much conversation revolves around sex. It's like, do you have another thought in your brain that's not just sex? I don't know. Because this is all I'm getting. And it's not everybody. These are generalizations. Sue me. But I take issue when I'm like, why can't these women have the locker room? Why can't these little girls have the locker room without some weird, creepy looking dude in there all up in their business? Leave them alone. Leave the women alone. Leave Britney alone. So I take issue with it. I just don't get it. Again, it's fine you want to do your thing, but it's like just get a third bathroom then. And then if you're trans of any kind, you could all go in there and it's your space. And I don't know. I don't know what better solution. I'm trying to be respectful, but I just leave the women alone. As guys, we don't care if a biological woman comes in that's transitioned and they come to the men's room because we're men and we're fine. I was like, okay, there's not a threat to us. But as a woman, there's a threat when some weird dude is going up in there and there's these women. So it's a threat because you're still biological male. Biology's real. Men and women have different builds. There's different. Anyways, this shouldn't even be up for debate because it's scientific fact. I don't know how people even want to debate it, but again, people go with their feelings and they just want to have their agendas and whatever. So I don't agree with that though. Now, I love women. I try to be respectful, kind, caring to women all the time. I don't reference them as bitches casually, things like that. Okay? I think there's many beautiful, great women in this world. Do I have an issue with kind of the modern American woman? Yeah, it seems so. Guys, I have had so many relationships. You gotta remember, I am a bit psychic. I have caught multiple women. I've caught 2 directly in the act where I knew what was happening. One of them I knew was going to happen like hours before, and I literally just showed. I was like, I'm going to show up here at this time, and I'm going to catch her, and I did. Another time I woke up because I'm not going to get into all that. I've had another times where I've caught women immediately after, or I've caught them in the same space, like there's a guy in their bed or whatever. Okay. I've had women I started dating, and then they were, I think we're starting dating, and like so many times, almost every woman in the last 6 years, I'm single. I'm not attached to another woman. I think it's like we start dating or something, and then I learned that they're not fully broken up with their man, and it's been a reoccurring theme with like every single one of them. Every time. They call that monkey branching. Whatever. But I love women. I know there's good women out there, but I think some of the feminism has just really jacked some of y'all up, respectfully. And this is off my own experience though. So it's like, I just can't. I've not dated a woman that's not cheated on me, or not been like emotionally tied to her ex, or have a roster full of men, or was like in some point involved with like OnlyFans or something like that, or other things, or was not just degrading and like just rude, like just talk down on me, like and chastise me all the time and put me down. I'm like, I'm trying to build you up. We're trying to build each other up. And so I have a little bit of biases. So again, go back to the men. I think a lot of men are jacked up because they're just jerking off playing video games. At least those ones are like minding their business, and they're it's not healthy for society. They're not helping society at all. You're not contributing anything. You deserve to live, you deserve to have a life, but you are a non-contributing member to society in the main, if that's what your hobbies are. Like, what do? I stream all day on Twitch, and I play video games, and I jerk off. Great, but you're not, like, the world, you could be removed today, and the world would be just fine without you. And I don't wish that. I'm just saying that's just the level of like, you're not enhancing society at all. You're not helping, and you're kind of hurting it because you're contributing to issues with the pornography and the OnlyFans. You got to remember, a lot of women have had, almost every woman I've ever met has talked to me about being abused starting at about the age of 13. It's like they hit puberty, and then there's some guy, a man, so it starts with a man that like abuses one of these women. Of course, these ladies be chasing these older men, or I don't even know how. Sometimes it's like, how are you even entangled in with these weirdos? But it's these weirdos entangling with these other young women too. So it's like, it is fucked up. The older man is the issue here. It's like, where are your parents? You're 13. What the fuck? Your parents like should get the shit kicked out of them for being awful and letting some older man even be around you to abuse you. You're a bad parent. So it does start with usually these men abusing women, and then these women, and then it just turns into a whole thing. And so now we have all this pornography. So we have all these women that are just turning to OnlyFans, and we've had a women empowerment. You talk about equal rights. The women's rights are plenty equal. In fact, women have more rights than a man, because I've watched countless women not at all take any accountability for their actions. As a man, if I go out and I commit a crime, I do something, the cops are going to come and they're going to bust my ass, and it's another dude, they're going to give me no leeway. Many times, I've had times where I've been with women and we've had cop encounters, and guess what? We actually all got out of it scot-free because of the women. So women are not held to the same kind of accountability that men are in this society. So you want to talk about being equal? Well, a lot of these women now have, with society, normally women, she wants security, which is fine. Like, again, we complement each other, and we should. But now a lot of the women have realized with the internet and things that they don't actually have to like nest down with one man. They can just be online, be on their phones, be on their internet, and they can just have security from multiple men. They can just have their cake, eat it too, and have pieces off of every one of these guys' cakes, and it's become abused. This is where some of the red pill stuff comes from. But I know there's so many good women out there that I respect, and like, especially I'll say in like the tarot community, like very divine feminine women. And I'm sure some of them, I'm not going to agree with their politics, but I listen to some of these women speak, and they say good stuff, and I'm like, this woman's pretty smart. Of course, what a woman says to a man is not always what she actually wants. So gotta remember, as a man, I've heard many women say, I want a man like this, I want this and this, and then you get in the reality of it, what women say they want is not actually what they want. It does sound nice on paper, no hate, that's just, you can just show that over and over and over. So you gotta be careful, and it is what it is. Again, it's no hate. I'm just trying to get some of this stuff out there. So if you want to watch my channel, and I do talk about God and spirituality, I have strong opinions about a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to be really basics on my opinions of just like, in my politics of just like food and fresh air and clean water and shelter for everybody, no matter who you are, and just helping the planet, being kind, respectful, not lying. But so this is me being genuine. This is me. And if you like it, thank you. Stick around. If you don't like it, that's okay. You know how to click off. So I just see a lot of problems. I also see a lot of solutions. Again, we'll get one more, the immigration thing, since that's a real thing. Okay, there's two things I want to talk on before I'm done. So we're at 28 minutes. The immigration thing. The left the left Democrats just let in massive amounts of immigrants and just gave them a bunch of welfare and just spread them all over, and then there's some chaos because of that. That's not good. Now, you cannot go to Mexico or Canada and just walk in and be okay. It doesn't work like that. You can't even go to Canada with the DUI. But these countries get no flack. America has had like much more relaxed policies in that way than these countries. But we get the flack. At the same time, I don't agree, and I have another talk on this with how the immigration process is. It should be eased. It should be much easier to get your legal status, come over legally, pay taxes, and like live a good, free, happy life. But just letting people in mass, it's not good, because there's a lot of bullshit that's come with it. Now, just deporting people in mass is not good, because I know for a fact, too, ICE has come and taken people that are like Mexican, that were born in America, never been to Mexico, and swooped them up and dropped them off across the border. That's not right either. But when it comes to the immigration issues we're having, the Democrats and the liberal base actually created the problem that we have currently with ICE and the immigration. They created this mess. So now the right is kind of cleaning it up, but not in a way that's good at all, that's not acceptable. So the blame goes on both sides, but there's just no accountability to it. Now, the last thing I was going to say, this is why, another reason I do not take liberal politics, liberals, I don't take their politics serious at all when they want to talk about like Trump did this and Epstein and they blah, 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 whatever. Because for years, Joe Biden was on camera, on stage, countless videos. The only way you can deny it is if you just want to deny reality, and that's your prerogative. But you're wrong, you're a liar, you're fake, and you're a pretender, and your opinion doesn't mean shit to someone like me because I know you're full of shit through and through. So I don't even care. I don't want to hear anything you have to say because I just assume it's going to just be more lies or denial of reality. Joe Biden constantly, by definition of the word, sexually harassed countless women and kids on camera. Unwanted touching, especially by an authority figure, is sexual harassment. You can see some of the faces of these children and these women. They are uncomfortable as he's up, rubbing their shoulders, sniffing their hair. That is not acceptable. I know as me or any regular person went up and did that to someone else, people would lose their minds. But I have not one time, I've never, not once in my life, seen a liberal, Democrat-based person ever condemn him for that. Not one single time. Ever. I've called it out countless times on there. I've never seen anybody. So when the party that wants to be the moral party of the left, they're like, we're moral and da-da-da, and they want to, and then they just let this guy get a hall pass. And then they say stuff like, well, he's not in office now. Oh, okay, so if I do a crime yesterday, it doesn't count today and I'm free. That's just so dumb. Makes no sense, and it's obscene to me. So that's my politics. I think there's so many good solutions. I think there's so many beautiful people on this planet. I want to just love people and help people and be of service, which I am doing and I'll keep doing. But I think there's shenanigans across the board, and I'm not afraid to speak my piece, which makes it hard because if you don't choose a side, then both sides don't like you. That's really tough to be in. But I'm brave and strong enough to do that. I can do that. I can stand up for myself, my beliefs, and if I can look and I can say, that's wrong, I don't care what group you're in, I can say, that's wrong. I sleep good at night. And I hope you do too. I love you. Stay beautiful. Mag out.